Actually, the city of North Liberty has 8 lift stations, and what the lift stations do are they're sanitary sewer stations that actually pump the waste up into a gravity main and take off down to the wastewater plant. Typically, we have it engineered so there's enough flow in these lift stations to provide turnover in each lift station that things don't go septic or stagnant. In Herkies or Penn Street out on the other side of 380, there's very little flow in that lift station a day in a 24-hour period. There's nearly 1.5 miles of force main. Penn Street lift station kicks on. It probably runs 4 times a day, probably pushes 500 to 1,200 gallons of sewage through that pipe, and it just doesn't move it very far down the line. It settles and starts to decompose and go septic, and microorganisms can't eat like they do down at the wastewater plant. So it gets stagnant. What happens is then each time it moves, it stirs that up, and eventually we get sewer smells, sulfur smells, and whatnot. We came up with this pigging operation, which pigging has been around since 1950s, and they started using pigs to clean oil crude lines down in Texas. And the name pig came from the sound that the pig made, because the crude oil lines were above ground. The pig would actually squeal by on the metal pipes when it went by when it was cleaning it, so thus came the name pig or pigging. We have enough pigs that we can do it on our own, so it was a learning seminar type thing for us, and actually did the pigging. The pigs consist of, there's several different types, and there's several different types on the internet. It's a foam round cylinder, and the white ones that are shown in the movie is scrapers, and they're foam. It's just like a Nerf ball. Those go in behind the bullet type scrapers that actually do the scrubbing. So what it actually does, it's a cylinder that matches the size of the pipe and just goes right through, and it's scrubbing bubbles almost, just squeegees it real clean. But everything's pretty much made of foam or plastic, and it's all flexible because there's 90 degrees and T's that it has to go through. We have an otologger, which is a testing device that we hang in a manhole that's in the gravity part of the section of the sewer, and it gets data every 15 minutes of what the temperature is in the manhole and what the gases are. And we did that a week prior and then a week after, and we saw a huge deficit in gases and smells and odors. So we'll keep an eye on that, and when we think that it's starting to rise again, the H2S and whatnot, we'll go out and do it ourselves again. We can do this on an annual, regular basis. We don't know yet. It certainly doesn't take too long. We did 6 pushes in a day and a half, and we're real happy with it. We're real happy with the results. We're happy that it's user-friendly. We're happy that it's something that we learned how to do, and we can do it whenever we feel the need.
My name is Captain Craig Bobrow with the North Liberty Fire Department, and I am here today at Bobbers out here at Corville Lake. And I wanted to talk to everybody today and invite you to the North Liberty Fire Department's Salute to Summer celebration. It's going to be our 4th annual event here at Bobbers. The event this year is going to be held on Saturday, August 18th. The event will start at 11 a.m. and it will conclude at 11 p.m. We got all kinds of things going on during the day of the event. We're going to have a couple bands here. We're going to have the Cedar Island Band. We're going to have Electric Kool-Aid. And then we're going to have all kinds of different activities that will take place throughout the day. We'll have kids inflatables. We'll have laser tag. We're going to have a race car simulator this year. We're going to have pony rides. We're going to have a mechanical bull, and we're going to have a climbing wall and a silent auction. The big prize this year for our auction stuff is going to be a vacation raffle. The winner of the vacation raffle this year will win a 4-day Carnival cruise for 2. Tickets for that raffle are $10 a piece, and they can be purchased here at Bobbers during the day of the event. And then also, of course, this will also be the 4th annual poker run that we'll have, where people can enter, and the poker run will be leaving the North Liberty Fire Department at 10 a.m. on that Saturday, and then of course we'll end here at Bobbers later that day. Of course, you know, Bobbers here will have their menu available, which will be available to anybody throughout the day, and then we'll also have some additional vendors here providing food as well. The whole purpose of the Salute to Summer, it's really got 2 purposes, one of which is to get the community together and let the community see what the fire department's all about, which is, you know, how we like to be out here and interact with the community other than just the times that we're called to help. We like to be there when we're not called to help. We like to be there to, you know, have the kids come take a look at the fire trucks, have the kids come and participate in all the rides and all the different activities that we're going to have for them. We of course also accept donations. Any money that's donated to the fire department goes to our benevolent fund, and that money is used throughout the year to buy things that the budget doesn't cover, such as you know, certain tools that we'll use out in the field, if we want to upgrade some of our equipment, stuff like that. The benevolent money that we receive from the community as donations goes to those purposes. The reason we choose to do it in August is it's kind of what we call the end of the summer celebration. So that's why we usually put it on later in August. This is about the earliest in August that we've ever had it, and once again the purpose of it, because it's just kind of the end of summer before all the kids have to go back to school. All of our members should be here that day. So there's about 40 of us right now. So all of our members from the fire department will be here. We kind of work throughout the day because the members of the fire department are the ones that kind of make sure that all of these different activities are taking place. And of course these activities need to be manned by people, you know, and everything. But then of course later that night we get to enjoy the time and get to enjoy the live bands and have a good time with everybody.
past Saturday, August 4th, we had our first annual youth triathlon. We had the participants check in at 8 o'clock and started roughly about 9 o'clock with the swim. We did heats of swimming until about 9:50. Then the kids went out and biked on Cherry, Front, Zeller, and Stewart. And then they came back to the rec, dropped their bikes off, and ran around Liberty Center. At 9 o'clock, we started the 12 to 14 age group. There were 10 kids in that. At 9:05, we had 5 heats of the 9 to 11 age group. There were about 8 kids in each age group, or in each heat, so we had 40 kids go through. And then about 9:30, we started the 6 to 8 age group, where we had 8 kids per heat and 5 heats again for 40 kids. We color coordinated the age groups for the kids, so they had yellow for the youngest, then we went to blue and orange. They wore their swim cap color. They went out from the pool, went out to the parking lot, removed their swim cap, and they put on their color coordinated shirt with their race number, jumped on their bike, and then they were guided by volunteers out of the south parking lot here at the rec center, and they went around their route for their bike, came back, and then volunteers again helped them around Liberty Center to complete their run. They went out on the sidewalk. They were guided underneath the 965 bypass. Shortly after the underpass, the 6 to 8-year-olds turn around. Then the 9 to 11 completed 1 lap of Liberty Center, and the 12 to 14 went around Liberty Center twice, and they returned back to the rec center to complete their race. As soon as each child passed over the finish line, we had someone there giving them their participation medal. Everyone who ran across the finish line got one, and then we were able to award top finishers for male and female of each age group based on their time. When we were advertising a little bit more for the youth triathlon in June, we had about 30 kids enrolled at that point. As everyone, I think, started talking and letting them know that we had the event, we were growing. We had about 60 fill up fairly quickly, and then based on the time constraints of starting at 9 o'clock and trying to finish by 11 to have the outdoor pool open at noon, we capped the participant enrollment to 90. We did reach that capacity about 2 weeks before the event. We had quite a few on the wait list, and we were able to get about 5 of those kids on the wait list from those who withdrew for various reasons to open up those spots for the younger kids. 90 seemed to go really well. We hope to start earlier next year, so that way we can accommodate a lot more kids who are wanting to participate in the event. I think the swim went really well. We probably will go a little earlier than 5 minutes in between. We are looking to just get kids involved, and so we may not keep times, just so that way we're able to get more kids through the event. And then also we're going to try to look at different routes or look at ways that we can clean up the bike route. We weren't anticipating very many vehicles, if at all, on the road, and there were some motorists that still needed to get through, and so we're going to try to look at maybe changing to a Sunday morning to alleviate some of those concerns, and then also potentially looking at different routes or different ways that we can go about closing off the route, so that way we can get kids on the road safely. I think a lot of kids wanted to get involved just because there are not very many summer activities for them to do. I do know that there was one in Iowa City that brought a few more kids here, a youth triathlon in Iowa City. Then there was the Iron Kids in Cedar Rapids, which struck a lot of interest here in North Liberty, and I think that once one kid got involved and they heard that their friends were involved, then they really wanted to get out and just try the event. We would like to thank all of the volunteers that came out and make the event possible. We had a lot of sponsors that really helped put the event together, and then we did partner with TriFit Agape. Denise Barnhouse did an awesome job helping set up the event and make it run very smoothly for all of the kids.